Welcome to the Retro Robin Show with me, Wayne, and of course somewhere in the background, although he's asleep at the moment, is Emo. Ooh, that's already too loud. Yes, it's been quite a while since my last show, but finally I've managed to get myself together and bring to you some more nostalgic entertainment from back in the day as we revisit Crash issue number 45 and approximately 46 as well, back in 1987. We'll be checking out the Crash smashes from those particular magazines, with upcoming events for me to do, such as Redcon in London and of course the mighty Zap, which will be a new venue this year round. We're going to be taking it to the Holiday Inn Hotel in Coventry. It's a really nice hotel, 5-star hotel, and there are lots of rooms. Lots of guests going on as well. I can't say too much about it, but a certain Ultimate 64 and its crew behind that could possibly be making an appearance. Well, we definitely hope so. So, we're going to journey back in a moment, taking a look at the first cover of today's Crash magazine, which is going to be Crash issue number 45. And if you caught my live stream, you'd have probably seen me go through some of the more obscure games on that particular magazine. That's precisely what I'm going to be doing from now on. I'm going to be doing live streams with the games that aren't Crash smashes from out of every, shall we say, issue that I'm covering, to have a look at the more obscure games, just like I used to do before, because there was one or two there that were sort of harshly dealt a bad rating when they deserved better. And of course we'll be taking a look at the Crash smashes today on the main show to check out whether they stand the test of time. Do they deserve that 90% or above which entitles them to the Crash smash? Well, it's only 90% or above from these issues onwards, and the very next issue, I believe, as far as I can remember, is the first issue of Crash that actually has a cover tape on it. And then, as always, we'll venture into something new. Let's have a look at that cover. So here we go, October 1987. Crash would have cost you £1.50, and in US dollars, given or taken inflation of course from back in the day, would have been $2.02. Issue number 45, I believe, was the very first issue that gave you a cover tape with the Crash sampler on, a few demos and possibly one actual game. I'm not 100% sure about the actual game, but it does look like this says there are 7, so it's competing with the other magazines that started giving away free software in and around this period of time. By this time, yeah, this humble Spectrum itself was 5 years old and possibly aging, which was quite a good run for just a basic home micro. Now, going through one or two of these pages, which is what I always like to do. The first of today's Hit Pack, the Hit Squad, or indeed Hit Pack Volume 2. I've got to be honest, Light Force out of all of them stands out. Ace of Aces was quite a tricky game for me to play, but you know, the rest of them was... Batty was actually quite good for what it was, and I enjoyed that. Anyway, we're going to flip through these pages. Freddie Hardison game over there. Imagine, I can't remember when they used to be a name. Mercenary, that's an absolutely brilliant wireframe game. I've featured that on a show previously, about 4 or 5 episodes ago I believe. I found it really hard to play. The late great Roger there, by the looks of things Roger Keane, I can see, that's not if I'm wrong of course. Right, carry on down. How to Be, yes I know how to be, actually, I'm pretty good at it. Right, Motors, that was a good game. I actually quite enjoyed that. Didn't get a Crash smash, but was a fun play. Very difficult. But we're going straight to the kill. We want to go straight to the first Crash smash, and indeed it's going to start off as a big one. There it is, and what I need to do now is make that a full screen so as you can have a look at the full screen, or fuller screen shall we say. You can see I've slightly obscured Grand Prix Simulator to give you the main event there. WIZBALL, a game where you have to go and collect ink and basically colour in the background. It's a fantastic game actually, if not very difficult to play. Well, this game was indeed £7.95, or in US dollars would have cost you $10.62, given taken about the inflation for the period of time. So whatever the value of the pound was compared to the dollar in 1987 will give you the equivalent value, and the pound has always been pretty strong, so I would have said it would be there or thereabouts. Presentation given 87%, graphics 88%, playability 93%, addictive qualities 92%, its overall rating was also 92%. The game was by Ocean, and WIZBALL was a strange game. Right, well, we're going to move straight into this game and we're going to have a look on the way it loads, so let's boot up the loading sequence. No prizes for guessing the AY tune that I've chosen in the background here. I just felt it pretty good, so rather than load it, I'm going to show you the loading screen of itself. It's obviously going to have a black border rather than a white one, but in this case, because the planet's white, I thought it would sort of complement it a little bit to put it with a white border. Looking at that loading screen, it's not too shabby, is it? You've pretty much got what you've got there in the game. I recognise a couple of the sprites. The wizard is well drawn. There's little bits of colour clash, nothing to write home about, surprisingly. On the actual green ball itself, you can see some of the red, shall we say, it's a skirt that the wizard's wearing there. Maybe he was transforming before it was a thing. The red is bleeding slightly into the WIZBALL itself, which has got the most angriest of angry faces I've ever seen. Got more frown lines than me, and that's something that I get on a daily basis, especially when I'm at work. But generally speaking, yeah, that screen jumps out at you. Pretty good, pretty nice. Lots of pipes, and even a black cat to boot. Foreshadowing could be a bad thing, that. Anyway, want to get on to playing this game? There you go. Oh, interesting. Get Jones to redefine your keys here, which I'm going to do now. So you get to see the keys that I'm going to choose. And that tune is a lovely bouncy one. In fact, we're going to listen to that tune because it's very rarely heard, because it's quite a good AY loop, this. Yeah, designed by Sensible Software, graphics by Mark R. Jones. And I'm loving the AY tune. And I'm doing what DJs do, I'm talking all over it. And I think we start again. Okay, so we're going to start the game, give it a play and see if it deserves that 92% crash smash rating that it got, even though it's a little bit loud. A little bit loud. Okay, you get a nice little intro tune to get ready. Even that's pretty good. It's a very nice tone they're using there in the AY. It really sticks out, sort of like a sharpish. It's stereo as well, so you won't probably get the full effect of the stereo that I'm getting, but it sounds really, really quite good. I mean, if I could put the capture card on, I would, but that would probably override the microphone a little bit, so that's probably not a good idea. Yeah, okay, let's play the game. Oh, and before I do that, just need to press buy now. Right, so we got no AY tuning. The music can be turned up for the yeah, well, we've got Head Over Heels in the background. This game is an absolute pig to control. So yeah, you really have to be playing this for a long time to get used to it, because the momentum is really horrible. Until you collect these here, you'll see that those light up, and there's a way of activating them, and I forgot how to do that, but first of all let's collect a few of them, and if you go down those pipes, we'll let's see if you can control it. So all you got to do is see those pots at the bottom there. I've already lost a life. I heard I'm dropping straight down. I feel like I got away with that. Just collect these little droplets there. Do you know, this is going to be a very short go indeed. I'm hopefully I'll fix that with a bit of a cheat. So yeah. What? Right, you can see the number 2. That means I'm on level 2. And I mean, you've got no real good control over this until you get that side to side movement is what I've got, but I want the all round movement. And one of those arrows takes you up a level. And I think once you've collected one, you just shoot the next one to collect that power up, if I remember rightly. And hopefully once we get that directional control, this game becomes a lot easier. But while you're bouncing around and you're trying to, you know, collect them, it becomes really hard. I mean, the graphics are fantastic. Usually find that that's a dead end. Yes, I've got immortality on. Those droplets there, you need to fill those like vases at the bottom there with each individual colour, and as you complete each colour, a bit more of the scenery on whatever level that you're on will be coloured in. So it goes from basically being black and white to a colour game, which is an interesting colour concept on a Sinclair Spectrum, which is notorious for colour clash. But you look, I can cut. Can you see how frustrated I am getting with just trying to bounce around just to hit one of them? And now I've hit one. The thing that I wanted to collect has now gone off screen, and when I return to it, it is not going to be there. It's a real pig to control in the early part of this game. Once you get that all directions control though, it becomes a lot easier. But getting that all directions control, well, that's easier said than done. So yeah, because you bounce off objects, it's a bit, in a way, very similar to the way you got that sort of horrible bounce mechanic in Cauldron 2, is it? Where it's really like a pumpkin head. It's really horrid. It's you've got to be so patient and so light on your touch. You can get used to it, but it takes a long time and a lot of practice to be able to play this game well. Most of the time you're just ending up bouncing around, especially for the start of the game. You can lose a lot of lives just trying to find the control that you require. Overall though, the game itself is well done. I'm not so sure I would have given it a crash smash, but it was a big game at the time. Quite technically, nice bit of scrolling going on. I mean, yeah, I want two-way fire. Now, generally, I would be dead there because I've just gone through that O-ring twice. And there's something, look, there's a bit of colour clash there where I've killed the O. But and now I'm going to get fed up with this game really quickly because I am absolutely useless at it. There we go, I've lit a second one up. I'm just trying to activate it now, and I forgot how to activate it. I think actually you have to hold down. Even though you do find a key, I'm sure there's a separate key you have to do to activate that. Can't remember how it's done. Anyway, enough of me bouncing around. What do I think of the game? Well, I wouldn't have given it a crash smash. I don't think it was ever a crash smash. It looks like we've got a slight bit of a glitch going on there. I would say it was good, but it wasn't brilliant. You can see I've got a graphical glitch going on the screen. That's easy for me to say. Personally, I would have only given that a, well, at best, 8 out of 10. As always, with the Retro Shop Robin Show, it is a matter of opinion, and it's my opinion against yours. So if you've got a different opinion, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. It will help the algorithm, if you like this sort of content, for me to do more videos, and I'll appreciate your comment. I will be engaging, and I'll have a debate and a conversation about it with you. Remember this, it's a bit of nostalgia for me, and hopefully it's a reminder of what these games was like for people who don't play Spectrums very often, who get to see it for the first time. This, to me, didn't age very well, but then, once again, as I say, it's only a matter of opinion. A bit of a sombre tune going on in the background from the original Dream and Time Monty game that is yet to be released for the Spectrum Next. Anyway, the game in question now, as you can see on the screen, is Eyeball 2, a follow-up to Eyeball. Actually, it was kind of an intermediate. Firebird, £1.99, which would have been $2.66, given or taken the rate of inflation against the value of the pound back in 1987. A couple of cents here and there, more than likely. Presentation was given 86%, graphics was given 83%, playability was given 89%, addictive qualities was given 89%, and its overall rating just squeezed in there with 90%. There isn't a real loading screen for this, so we will be able to jump straight into the game. Yep, producer Firebird, as I say, and they're also responsible for that beep loader, you know, that intensely horrible loading game. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on about this. As you can see, there's some screenshots there, and it's a single screen experience rather than a multi-screen player. Bit of a change from the game then, you know, where you're normally scrolling up. This is just going to be one screen. Okay, loading it up, we get this. Not much. But then the sound, the beeper sound will hit you like a freight train. I did warn you. Yeah. I have no idea what it's all about, but there are posts for this, and I might end up having to put some cheating in order to play it, because it's not an easy game anyway. Eyeball 2, well, there isn't much of a demo, it'll just repeat the same old, so let's press a ball, press a button and get the game going.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
Right, if I remember rightly, yeah, it's got some weird keys because it's ZX. And okay.
Oh no.
We've just got to get the key and get to the exit. We've got to do that for a number of levels. Now, yeah, it's got great graphics, there's no doubt about that, but it's so incredibly hard. I'm going to have to fix this. Yeah, because I've cheated. I put some funky music on in the background. Right, so we've got to get a grip of the keys. And now, because I'm invincible, I need to get the key before I can get to the exit. Got the key. I like the rapid fire. Getting up there is quite difficult. I mean, well, there you go. First level complete, finally. And I wouldn't have been able to do this without cheats. I can tell you that now for free. Can I jump on top of them? Is that the idea? I mean, the time's infinite, but yeah, I've got to get up there. There's a thrust key as well, so I need to find out what all the keys are, because at the moment I am struggling. And as I'm not a one for playing this sort of game very regular, it's doing rather badly. I think we've got to go into there and sort of zap to the top, haven't we? And nothing's happening. I forgot how to get to the top. How on earth do you get up there? I'm using up my super bomb here, and that's a pause key, so I found that key straight away. Oh, here we go, we've got a super jump. Or have we? Oh, I've got P&O. Time blocks are not disappearing. Oh, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. Yeah, I have no idea what I've done, but I managed to get past level 2. Oh, so janky. I mean, I don't really even need to collect the key. Let's go and grab that thing up there. I've got infinite time. Wow, I'm attacking everything here. Go get the key. Usually that would kill you. There's not a lot happening on the screen, is there really? I do like the fact. But, yeah. Here's another one I don't know how to get past. Well, I've got a bomb, but I've got to learn to drop a bomb. Which I have no idea. I think it's just a simple down, is it? He's stuck, he's froze. Well, at least something's generated. Look at all the graphical glitches there. This is what happens when you poke games to cheat on them, is you can get all these strange artifacts happening, you know. It's yeah, and I think because it's crashed, there's no way I can get to that inside there. I'm sure that they're meant to be disappearing. So I don't know what's going on, but either way, giving that a play like I have done, I'm struggling with it, so I can hardly rate it down, but I didn't really think there was much to the game anyways back in the day. I'm sure I knew how to play it then, and I didn't need to cheat as much as I did today. But 90% really for a game like this? No, come on, who are you trying to kid? Was you just giving it a nostalgia blast because Eyeball was pretty good? It's just a one-screen affair. At least with Eyeball you were scrolling up the screen, shooting things and avoiding things at the same time. Yes, the voice samples were fantastic and the graphics were pretty well done and well drawn, sprites for instance. But overall, this looks rubbish compared to the first one, so no, I would have at best. I'm sorry, Eyeball 2? No thanks. More like 6.5 out of 10 from Retro Robins. Nice game that Alan did here. Frankenstein rebooted. I love the reboot on this, but I love the original game itself in the background. Good old Alan and the Midnight Brew team are doing a wonderful job creating some new and remade new games for the humble ZX Spectrum, and now they're even doing stuff for the next, so I believe. Keep this space clear, I've got some news coming up there. The game is a bubble, or something like that. Anyway, Firebird, £7.95, that's once again $10.62, give or take inflation of the period of time. Presentation 86%, graphics 87%, playability 91%, addictive qualities 89%, and its overall rating squeezed in there with a 90% based on the arcade machine. Double Bubble is a pretty good one. And I think the other game too was Rainbow Islands, was it? If I recall, I think it was. Anyway, that's that. Let's have a look at the actual game in action with the loading screen. That's the loading screen, as well as the title screen. Bubble, as you can imagine. Firebird. I don't think this one has a big load. I think this one actually loaded quite normally, so that's a refreshing change. But then, £1.99 this was. That's a really, really good price. Anyway, there's only going to be 4 keys involved. So we can press 1. As soon as we press 1, it gives you the option to redefine the keys. And then all we got to do is choose what we want to do. So left, right. Fire will use a space and jump will use Q. Are these okay? Yeah, why not? So, as soon as we press 1, this is for player 2. We'll just put it in there. That caught me by surprise because I wasn't expecting an AY tune. I've only ever played the 48k version of this. I've got to be honest, I'm loving that simple but very colourful starry background. It's just like there looks like there's either 2 or 3 pixel dots per square, per graphical square, if you know what I mean. I get 6 credits, I want my money back, thank you very much. Right then. Right. I can't remember how to play this game. Oh, that's it, we're down to level 2 straight away. I can't believe how good this game was, really. So much fun. But it looks so... I don't know, when I first saw it, I thought it looked a bit naff. And then I played it and I thought, hey, this ain't too bad at all. I ain't got a clue what I'm doing. You shoot them with balls, you collect the bits that they turn into, and you'll end up moving down to the next screen if you're lucky. There we go. Now if I fall out the top here, oh, I've just lost a life. Fell straight onto it. Yeah, I want to get that bonus, thank you very much. Get the bonus, I'm going to drop down here. I filled the entire area with balls, so and you've only got a certain amount of time in order to click that before you move on to the next screen. Yeah, and because, as I said, you've only got a certain amount of time. Didn't take me long to move down, and it didn't take me long to lose a life even, did it? Right. See if I can get them before they... Couldn't see him there. And that's it, I think I'm just about done here. Yeah, I've drowned. Bubble then. I don't know what's up there. I don't know if it's crashed or it's just me, but I was enjoying it. I might have froze it. Yeah, I froze it. Yeah, I froze it. How have I froze her? Be careful on what keys you select because that can quite happen. For the AY tune, for the presentation, the background and the actual playability, it is quite a fun game. I mean, it really is quite a fun game. But that concludes issue number 45. There's 3 crash smashes. One of them I've completely downgraded to 6.5%. But generally speaking, I would say that this was a... Yeah, let's keep it 9 out of 10. Let's keep it a crash smash. It's pretty good. I've just got to remember how to play half of these games that I haven't played in such a long time, because I moved on to the Mega Drive and then of course the PlayStation and etc, etc. But it's good to revisit these games and see them in action and thinking to myself, how did I manage to play this back in the day? Let's move on to issue number 46 and check out the cover of that particular crash. If you don't know the game in the background, I'm not going to tell you. Right, we're moving on to Crash issue number 46, and I'm afraid gone are the days of the cover tape. Well, it was a short one, it was the first one, but this time for £1.25, or the equivalent in dollars would be, this is a tough one actually. The equivalent in dollars would be $1.67, give or take inflation of the period of time back in 1987, or the strength of the pound to it. Yeah. 3D glasses. So really we should have a look at the 3D pages where you get to see the 3D glasses. Now if you've got this book from November, issue number 46, £1.25. Remember, you got a cover tape for £1.50, but for £1.25 you got a set of 3D glasses. Ain't a bad difference, is it really? Do you want a tape with games and software on, or do you want a pair of 3D glasses? I know which one I'd rather have, and the glasses I know more. And I don't suppose anybody's kept their glasses, because it's just perfectly, you need the right shade of green and the right shade of red and green in order to get the 3D image. And of course, if you was colourblind to any of those particular two colours, then you had no chance of seeing anything in 3D anyways. Kind of like a bad idea. A bit like the colour card for the shall we say Jet Set Willy game. If you was colourblind, you was in trouble unless you writ the numbers down, but there was plenty of hacks in and around that. So yes, the cover, not bad, not brilliant, not one of my favourite covers, but it's there nonetheless. We'll check through one or two of the pages. Moving on to the big advert for the Sinclair Spectrum Plus 3, to which I bought mine from Games Workshop in Bearwood. I took it home, I played a game that I knew had great AY tune on it, because I'd seen it on my friend's 128k toast rack, and it sounded immense, it sounded brilliant, but on this it sounded like a crock of rubbish. And there's another word beginning with S that I wanted to use, but I thought, well no, I don't want to swear if I can help it. Anyways, I took it back to Games Workshop. I said there's something wrong with the sound on this one, and they was more than accommodating. They changed it, complete new box. Here's another one, take that one instead. I took that home to find that I had the same sound issue. I took that back as well, and they was getting a little bit annoyed with me, so they gave me a third swap, and they said, look, we can't swap it again. I said, but that's fine. I said, surely it can't be two this lot. But indeed the sound was awful, and it was only in recent times, and I mean in the past 15 years or so, that I found out that there was an absolute botch on the sound circuit with the Spectrum Plus 3, to which you had to do a fix where you cut them. Still didn't sound right, but sounded a lot better than it did back in the day when it was first released. And there are one or two models with the sound fix that were released in later, I believe, or don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure, but this was a fantastic computer, but with disappointing sound, because I actually loved the Plus 3, and I used one for many years, especially with the extra memory you could find on Drive M. Yeah, an extra 52k or 62k, I think it was 62k on the Spectrum Plus 2 A or something like that, I'm not sure. Once again, don't quote me. And there's the first page, which you would have found some 3D glasses on, and it looks a bit harder to read nowadays than it used to be, but let's turn that down a touch. Yeah, you needed the red and green glasses in order to be able to read that clearly, and there you had the second page, with the green should disappear with your one eye, and the red should disappear with the other eye, and we've got 3D glasses. And if you carry on for you actually got a comic strip, you know, Ultimate Play the Game, the Jetman comic strip, which was quite good. I remember back in the day I enjoyed reading through those little comic strips then. But yeah, even the charts, the background was in 3D, but everything else that wasn't in 3D would stand the test of time, stand out to you. That's if indeed you've still got those glasses. I very much doubt anybody has, and if they have, they probably wouldn't be in very good nick and would have faded in colour, and probably wouldn't give you the full 3D effect. Anyway, I digress. Well, let's have a look at the game that we're going to take a look at. Only one Crash Smash in this particular magazine. And there it is, THUNDERCATS by Elite. This would have cost you £7.95 or $10.62 given the time period it was in. Based on the British cartoon. Was it British cartoon? It wasn't a British cartoon, was it? It was an import. It was a manga import of some sort. I'm not 100% sure. I know the action figures are fetching quite a few, and there's one or two that Chris Wilkes Fusion Retro Magazines has managed to acquire recently that may go up for sale eventually for those collectors that are in the original packaging, so they may be up for grabs. The presentation of this game was given 92%, the graphics was given 90%, the playability was 90%, addictive qualities was also 92%, so presentation and addictive qualities got the same, graphics and playability also got 90%, so 2 92s, 2 90s, its overall rating then squeezed in another Crash Smash at 91%, but did it? Was it as good? Well, I'm not only going to show you that, I'm going to show you the spreadsheet of the review so you can see for yourself. I am not exactly making this up. Yeah, XOR is slightly covered up with all the load screen pictures, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that screenshot in the bottom there. Sometimes Crash were renowned for screenshots, but we're going to see what the loading screen's like. And there is a 128K version of this, so it's going to be a bit of a slow load, I should think. But we'll load it up anyways and take a look at the loading screen to see if the loading screen is going to want you to play the game or if the loading screen is any good. It's worth noting that while this game loads, it's great the use of green there, very bright. A countdown there from 600 or 700 it was when it first started. Green, as in THUNDERCATS, tends to be a primary colour. Green in and around them was used as the background while it loads the loading screen, and of course green and black bars, which was all programmed in the top half of the memory of the Spectrum, of course, or the toast rack. Nothing too flash. Very good graphic drawing of the main character there. But yeah, it is what it is. Would it have appealed to you to get the game? Well, the loading screen wasn't bad. I think certainly the sign of THUNDERCATS was well done, you know, with the actual cat icon at the front. THUNDERCATS, it was a massive cartoon back in the day, wasn't it? It was really quite popular and certainly did sell a lot of ties, because I'm sure that this was there to basically sell ties for whoever it was. Anyway, I'm not going to keep you too long with this. I'm going to let it load, and when it gets close to loading, I'll start the recording again and we can see the game in actual action. And just a quickie while it's loading, I'm going to be giving these away because they're just spare and I don't want to throw them away. They're for the ESP32 module to go inside for people who want to do the ESP Spectrum or anything else. A couple of them have got that printed on them. So I might give these away to whoever wants them. Anyone who wants them, let me know, and they'll be free of charge to you and sent as soon as I get time to do so. I like the countdown in the last few seconds because it'll let you know whether it loaded or whether it'll crash. We're going to see in real time whether this is just going to go straight to... Oh no, there's a bit more to load. Another 250 is a fact. I can't time that badly. You know, you can tell it's graphics or some sort of screen that's been loaded by the sound. I can tell you that that sounds like almost like there's a second loading screen being loaded here, but maybe it's just part of the graphics of internal of the game. And after what seems like an eternity, we're nearly there. Or are we? You don't get this with a 48K version, you know, it stops after a certain time. Oh well, let's wait another 200. I wonder if it's this. No, again. Oh. Thank heavens for Z80 and tap files, that's all I can say. Section after section after section. You know what, if there's 8 blocks of this, it's going to be a long load, isn't it? You know what would complete my doom? If it said system updating, please wait. It'd be just like a PlayStation 4 then, wouldn't it? Well, not quite. Is this the last section? Is this the last bit? Fingers crossed. Fox celebration! It's loaded! Hip hip hooray! It hasn't crashed. Imagine if it had crashed after all that. Okay, D for joystick, K for keyboards. Listening to the AY music. That is cool. I'm going to crank it up a bit, so wear ear protection. Not bad, not bad. Not a lot going on the screen apart from the logo, but there's like a little shimmering blue thing that goes across every now and then. That's a good little effect. Almost like a demo, isn't it, really? The Elite, I remember the Elite when it used to flip round. They should have put that effect in it. Anyway, K for keyboard. We get the option to redefine the keys. That's always a bonus in my book. So it's going to be left, right, up, down, and then fire. You know what keys I'm using. Press fire to start. Out of 10 for the AY. It's quite a long loop. I would say that the actual beepers come in a bit stronger than the AY. Anyway, enough of that. Let's just press fire, turn it down, touch, let's get started. So we got to get the eye. Wow, it's very smooth. And very responsive. It's very fast at reacting, and I wasn't fast enough there, but yeah. Maybe I should have hit that one. And yeah, you can kill 2 with one blow, that's good. You don't really get an energy bar, do you? But the graphics are kind of really good, aren't they? I mean, I've got to move. You can't just stay there. There's graphics at the top as well that... didn't want to fall in there. So I've got to the end of that section. We got it, yeah. Moving on. Oh, collapsible platforms. Oh, wow. Right. Oh, please don't tell me I've lost that weapon. I enjoyed that. I don't know how many lives I got. I really don't. Oh. And that's it, I'm over with. I might have another go with that. That's pretty. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed that. Let's carry on. We got past level 1. I'm sure we can get past the second level now. Now we know what we're doing. realise he was going to bounce back on me, but that was... And I jumped into him, but I collected that at the same time, so I don't care. I'm doing worse than I did the first go. I just wish you could flick around quicker. Don't know if that means that's a life or not, but... Yeah, okay, it's pretty easy to get past the first section. We've gathered that. And we know that that collapses. Ah, blew too early. But I think it was here that... Really? Well, I didn't really want to lose that sword. Well, this one's definitely a bit more of a challenge, isn't it? And I remember from last time, he turns around, doesn't he? Oh, I couldn't do anything about that. Is that the end? No, I've still got more lives left. That's a collapsible platform. And whether we're meant to get down there, I don't think we are. We're not dead yet, though. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Fast moving levels. Nice bit of graphics there. Oh. What was that? That just blew me away. Okay, I've seen enough, and that was incredible. Not a game I've played before, but I'm definitely intrigued to see how well I can do on it. I'm definitely going to have a look if there's any cheats on it, so that I can do even better, because I'm rubbish these days. But nevertheless, it's fantastic, isn't it? Musically and graphically and playability is really, really up there, so definitely deserves a crash smash. There's a lot of hard work gone into the coding of that game. There's certainly a lot of hard work gone into the graphics of that game too. A scrolling platformer that's got good scrolling and a good hit detection, which is always a bonus because it's usually the hit detection that suffers in this day and age. If there's any quirks or down things I'd say about it, it's if you're facing that direction, you're swinging your sword, you can't turn around quick enough to grab any enemies, so when they're coming from the both sides, it's a bit hard. If you could do that so you had a full swing round or some sort of movement like that, it would be better, because then you can sort of help yourself from attacks from behind. But generally speaking, I definitely enjoyed that. For the short play or brief play that I had of it, I thought it was really quite good. So yeah, I'm going to give that a 9.5 out of 10. A definite crash smash. Certainly deserved, even though it took an eternity for it to load. What do you think? Was THUNDERCATS your cup of tea, or was it something that you didn't get a chance to play, or perhaps didn't like? As always, leave the comments in the comment section and I'll do my level best to get back to you. Let's have a look at something a little bit more up to date. Yes, right, lock and chase. Now we've got a few games to select today. Quite a few of them are okay. Some are good and some are not so good. This is particularly interesting because it's by Midnight Brew, and I also recognise the symbol of Bob Stuff. Now Bob Stuff did Factory Days, which is a game that I'm eagerly anticipating to try and get on a Crash cover tape, but I haven't been able to secure permission or indeed get in contact with Bob himself. But I will be speaking to Alan hopefully shortly about that soon. Now, this game is extremely interesting in the way it loads, because each time it loads, it gives you a different loading screen. This is just one of them, which is very Manic Miner-esque, lock and chase. But I'm going to see if I can bring you all three screens. And this is screen number 2. That's nice as well. I mean, the first screen was more flashy. This one's certainly more colourful in a 3D room, and you can see there's little spots on the ground there. There's absolutely zero colour clash, so everything graphically wise has been strategically placed on the screen so we don't get that colour clash. There you go, Bob Stuff and Midnight Brew, as well as Lee B for the audio is involved in this, and the audio won't be AY tunes, but it'll be AY sound effects, possibly a tune. I'm not 100% sure, but I have already got a general idea of this game and how to play it. So this is the third screen that I've found as a loading screen, and I think it's a random pick between 3 different loading screens if you're using the tap file on the Spectrum Next. Whether that's random, whether you're loading from tape or not, I do not know, but I think it just basically picks a screen, which I found is brilliant. I think that's an excellent idea, and I absolutely loved it, especially in this day and age. Right, so there we go. We've got the usual motley crew there. Collect bags of money. Yeah, that's what you really want to collect for the big bonus. 1,000 bonus there for the bags of money. But it's eventually it's a Pac-Man game. Bob Stuff there. I knew it was Bob Stuff. I recognised the symbol. And when he puts his mind to stuff, he really does do a fantastic job. I think the world of Bob. I think he's brilliant. Right, left. And then 0 to start the game. So you start with driving the car, you get dropped off at that point, and then you're on the run. And now, you can leave barriers, but you can only leave barriers in certain places. I was lucky there. But... oh no, I want to get... you've only got a certain amount of time to get to that. Yes, they're just freaking out because I managed to get the bonus that they don't want you to get, which is £500. £500, 500 points, and I want to get that one as well. We'll come back, but not very often. And just like a Pac-Man game, where you've got the doors, the ins and outs and everything. I could wait here for one to appear, but that won't necessarily be the case. Likes to wait till you're absolutely miles away. And once you've collected them, you've got a choice of 2 different outs to go to a different screen. And Bob's your uncle. Well, actually, Bob's your stuff. You get to start a new level. I haven't noticed any layout changes, but I do notice that the sprites that are following you or chasing you getting slightly quicker as you progress through different levels. Now, oh no, I've trapped myself. As you can see, I'm hitting the barriers. You can only hit the barriers between where those lines on the blue, you know, those Clyde lines. So for instance, I can put a barrier there which will stop him. I can also put a barrier there, and it's how you strategically place those barriers to stop the baddies from following you. Oh no. You've got a constant sound in the background. Ooh. I nearly ran into another, well, not ghost on this occasion. Yeah, and another thing is I can't go through those barriers while they're shutting. You can only go through them in a certain way now. Oh. Well, as I've already cleared that level, it doesn't matter where I can go back out. And it's very, very like a version of, shall we say, Pac-Man, but in a different style altogether. Yeah, here we go again. It's like almost a Pac-Man versus Ladybird clone, if you know what I mean. Oh, No, go, go, go. Oh. It's a bit hit and miss as well where you put the barrier, but now what's really good about this game, and I'll turn this up, is the way you can put your name in. Because, so for instance, I'm going to put retro R. I think you can have 5 letters, or is it just 3? No, it's only 3 letters. Okay, so let's rub that. Ah. I like that bit where he's not quite carrying the letter, but he's placing the letter strategically. And that's a nice touch, because you don't see those sort of touches anymore in these day and age. But yeah, and once we've done, we get to see our name on the high score. And a little jingle there to complete. Yeah, I love it, to be fair. Marks out of 10, I'm going to give that an 8.5 out of 10, just for doing something different with the loading screen. Yes, it's a Pac-Man clone. It's not a bad Pac-Man clone though. But what I do like about it as well is the way it's done just more. It's almost like, you know, the Ladybird where you rotate the doors to... Well, this one you just basically put barriers. There are only certain positions you can put the barriers. Once you put those barriers in position, they dissolve after a certain time. Also, the difficulty is you've got those sort of opening and closing barriers on the level. The further you progress, the more that you can get those appear in and around the level, making it harder for you to traverse the maze successfully without actually getting caught, well, being chased, and losing a life. A great way of putting your high scores in as well, and all the high scores start as blank, which is nice. So if you're going to have a few beers with a few mates and you want a little bit of a challenge on your Spectrum Next with them, well, this is a game that could probably do that for you. You can set the standard and see if they can beat your score. Who knows? It could be a great deal of fun, and it's well done. Sprites are great, colours are great, and it's not bad at all. I was pretty impressed with that game. In fact, it kind of surprised me. What do you think? 8.5 out of 10 then. Nice one, Bob stuff and Midnight Brew. PULPLIFE, the ZX Special, the Spectrum Edition, shall we say. This is an unusual game. I say unusual, it's obviously going to be developed with the development engine tool, which can make a lot of these games look a little bit similar. But sometimes something stands out with you, you know, something that's got a different feel or texture to it that can actually make it feel kind of good. So I've been having to play on this one, and we've got a lovely AY tune. Lee Bees again. Very nicely done. That's the title screen. I do like that. There's plenty going on in that title screen, but it basically tells you you get a chance to oh, this is the one where I have to use the joystick to start it. Okay, so we're going to be this little squid or octopus creature here. You're safe for the first part of it. Those are not harmful. But look, you can jump out of water and you can traverse along the surface of the water, which is most important. Extra life found there. Oh, yeah, there's plenty that kills you. Now, as you can see, there's like a... Let's turn it on touch. There's a little sort of like octopus thing there. It's red in colour too. And you've got 50 of those to find, I believe. So I've got 49 now. There's a brother found, so there's quite a few of them to find. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to go through that door until we've collected that key over there. If you can see on the ocean floor, there is a key to collect. Key found. Oh, yeah, and it's got that usual AGD advanced game development system type sounds to it. We can jump over there. We're not going to, because there's a passageway that we can go down here, and we can fire as well. Don't get me wrong, there is a firing mechanism. And I can see we've got another brother there. So basically you've got to go and find all your brothers and go through. Now we've got no keys left, so we can't get through that yellow door until we find another key. But there is a key here, so we may be able to use that. It's best to watch the patterns that they go. Now, you see the barrier with the skulls? That crab is such a slow moving crab as well. Key found. That means I'll be able to get out that door in a moment. There's a life there, if I can just position myself nicely. There we go. I think this is one of them where you have to kill a bad guy to open the door. So hopefully when I kill... There you go. And yes, another brother rescued. Once the gates are open, they don't reclose, so there is that. That's... Oh yeah. Be warned, there are things that do home in on you, and you have a certain amount of time. I'm losing lives here, galore, but I've got to, unfortunately, there's sometimes you've got to lose a life to gain an advantage in this game. Yeah, it's changed its direction, but I'm going to need a key, so I'm going to go and grab that key. Don't think you can collect that thing on the surface floor, but anything that's red and moving usually is deadly. Yeah, so I've got to wait up here till he goes there and try and... once again, you're going to lose plenty of lives at this game because it's unavoidable. But I have noticed, and it's a welcome notice, that when you've killed a bad guy on any particular screen, it doesn't suddenly bring them back every time you leave the screen, which makes it good because that way, you know, it's worth killing them, where normally you waste a lot of bullets trying to kill them. I grabbed another key. We can see there's a brother there. And we found an extra life. Keep an eye on the patterns of the... That was a hard one to judge, wasn't it? When they're small, I don't think I can hit them as a target. Oh, could. I could indeed. Right, okay. I know that that door can be opened, which I have already done. As you can see, there's something homing in on me fast here. I'm not going to worry about that too much. The AY music does change in certain areas. For instance, here we go. Well, we've opened the door there, but we want to be able to get inside there. I think we've got no keys. No, we need another key. Maybe we can find one in, down this way. Oh, I can see there's a key there, but we need to get to a door to get to it. Don't see any extra lives around here. I think those ghouls will disappear once I kill all the bad guys. I've got loads of lives. I'm just going to keep collecting all the lives. No, so we just got to get a key to get into that. So I can see a key there, but I've got to figure out a way to find it. I like the fact that there's a nice control on this. It's not like over the top. Yeah, and I need to 44 to get. We're doing alright, aren't we, considering now I can't get up there, so all of a sudden this game goes from seafaring to a platformer, with all of those things obviously being deadly, and only a certain amount of time when they pop. So if I go out and in the room again, do they return? Yeah, okay, so you've got a certain amount of time in order to... Ah! It's going to be tricky, isn't it? Right, that's everything we need. We got 2 keys now, so we can do plenty more. Oh, there's a heart there. I don't know how to get to that heart. I think you've got to go around there. I'm okay for lives at the moment, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. With the key, though, we'll be able to progress to another level or another room. Oh, as you can see, I think... Actually, this is one of them rooms where there's 2 skulls at the bottom, yeah? And if I kill that, those 2, well, squid skulls will disappear. And now I can go down. And there's little tricks like that you need to watch. We can't go through there, but we will be able to work our way back around there as we progress slowly through the map. And now with a key we should be able to yeah, so let's open that up. We got that key back straight away, and none of the baddies are around here because we've shot all those sprites to bits. So right, there's going to be a number of things to kill here as well as avoid. Notice a bit of a music slowdown. Looks like a giant octopus eye. There we go. That was quite a battle. We've got some of the lives back that I've lost there, and you will need to lose, unfortunately, a lot of lives in this game. A little change of scene, a little change of texture. But basically everything, every part of this room where there's a red spike can be deadly, so it wouldn't surprise me if I don't lose a lot of lives just trying to brute force my way around it. And indeed, there you go, I died, but if I'd have taken a little bit more care, that room can be quite difficult if you've got something that homes in on you. But nice little ending scene to end there, and yeah, that game kind of surprised me as well. I didn't expect it to be with those regular sound effects, but it's nice to actually see that when you've killed a bad guy in a game that they don't actually return, because that's what bugbear. Personally, I would say that was a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 to be generous, just because it did that for me, which puts it a lot above a lot of games that have been developed with that development tool. But it was a fun play, and with quite a big map. I did find myself wanting to see how far I could get. Love some cheats on it, so I've got infinite lives and infinite keys to just keep going through, because it looks like it's quite a vast map. But yeah, I thought, okay, that was alright. That wasn't too bad at all. That's all. All these games today are available on itch.io, or you can go to Spectrum Computing, and that will probably lead you to the right directions in where you can download these games, stick them on your SD and try them out for yourself. In the meantime, let's move on to the last game of the day. Yes, Go Bunny Gun. Love this little bit there, and you'll get to see that quite a bit. On this game, you get to redefine your keys. Press R for redefine. Nice set of arrows just to... Are these keys okay? Yeah. Now I'm going to turn the AY music down here, because there's a little bit of information there that you might like to read through. You can hear the great game. There's some beeper tune coming up, I think. Beeper tune will happen right about now. There you go. And then you just press fire to start. And this is going to be quite a unusual type of game. But I'm going to tell you now that this game will blow you away. It looks very basic, right? You can choose a character. Yeah, okay, so we've got to shoot them up. But look at the quality of the explosions. And yes, that's a power up. If you can get the power ups, just like anything. Oh, that was me pressing the wrong button. I'll take that, thank you very much. Pattern recognition game, yeah, that can come from all directions. As you see, I've had a power up now. I've got a dual weapon rather than one, and you get power ups by killing off a couple of waves at a time. There we go. And I've almost got like an R-type. Oh, crikey. Look at the explosion there, and it come from behind, so I didn't really see it coming. And of course you have to basically start just a little bit further back, but not right at the beginning. Each time you progress. I mean, the graphics are magnificent, aren't they? That's where you get your power-ups from. Dual buttons there. I can't fire as fast as I used to, so I've lost all your power-ups. If you lose a life, you lose all your power-ups, unfortunately. But if you know which way the enemies are going to come, that's a big help. Especially if they're flying towards the bullet. Here we can get a power-up back here. Dual bullets again. Oh yes, and they do shoot at you as well. And that catches me out a couple of times. Oh, backwards firing, that's cool. I want that power up quickly. That's me hitting the enter by accident. Ah. Lost all my power ups. I'm gonna get them back though. I like that thing, it's supposed to protect you. Ah, the right, I can see what happened there. Got to stop hitting the pause button. Over that we've defined the keys, which one of them needs a pause as well. Right, seem to be making good progress on this game. Oh, dual, and I presume that each one of these symbols gives you a different type of weapon, and it looks like we've already made it to a boss fight. Be careful on what keys you define though. There we go, just straight down the centre, managed to get rid of that boss fight quite well. Yeah, stage complete. Oh, brilliant. I'm starting to enjoy this. I'm really impressed with the use of the colours. Yeah, now because we got many of the same sprites except the backgrounds changed slightly. Oh, there we go, an even better power up. I've lost all my power-ups. Yeah, game over. Wow, what can I say? Very impressive game. And I got my name on the high score sheet. Yeah, that's okay by me. Graphically fantastic, the explosion's well done, and it's quite a playable game. There's not a lot of AY music in the actual game itself, just sound effects of where you're shooting. It feels almost like it's kind of half in basic, but it's sort of almost, I don't know, a slightly clunkier version of R-Type in the way it's designed. Yeah, backwards firing is unique, where you can fire in two different directions. But I was kind of impressed with it, to be honest. I didn't expect it to be that good, so yeah, I'm going to give that. I'm going to give that an 8.5 out of 10. I was, you know, it could do with a bit of more, other than the fact that I put Castlevania Spectral Interlude in the background to give it a bit of atmosphere. Without the AY music, it doesn't seem quite the same. But it is a fast-paced shoot 'em up, and it is a game that you can get good at, I suppose, with plenty of practice and plays, but it's by no means easy at the same time. And with that said, if you know this tune, it's time for me to end the show. So, a selection of 3 good games there, all of them well done, all of them different as well. We visited Crash 45 and 46, checked out the Crash smashes in those two. Don't forget, on the live streams I'll be doing what games are Crash smashes from out those particular crashes, as well as investigate new games that probably didn't make today's main show. Hope you enjoyed the show, as always. If you did enjoy the show, if you want to leave a comment, I will do my level best to get back to you. I'm currently looking at trying to do a Crash Christmas cover take for this year. I know Christmas is a long way away, but I have to prepare nice and early for these things, and indeed I am already got the ball rolling, so who knows, this year we may have a cracking Crash Christmas cover tape. Zap Live is one of the next events that's on my mind. I've got plenty of Commodores to repair, and plenty of news as well there, so yeah. I love this game. It was pretty good. What else? Oh, Redcon. I'll be going there to distribute a few of my computers for people to play on, so I hope to see 1 or 2 of you there as well. In the meantime, depending on when you watch this, please have a good working week or weekend. You take care, and I'll see you hopefully again soon on another Retro Robins. And not only that, check out my second channel, ZX Arcade, a channel where we check out games for the Spectrum that were good enough to be possibly put in an arcade machine, or games that was once off an arcade machine that are probably not good enough conversions for the Spectrum. Well, at least until Alan and the team from Midnight Brew got to them anyways. I'm out of breath now. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Computing has a place in our hearts. From Sinclair to Commodore, where do we start? 8-bit computing in the modern age, where vintage computers take center stage. It's the retro the know. We've got reviews and gaming vibes. We do upgrades and repairs, all of it live. So come to the channel and just drop in. Take off your hat, let the show begin. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. It's the Retro Robin Show. Retro Robin Show. Plug into your computer, let the good vibes grow. The Retro Robin Show. Go live, subscribe, stay in the know. Oh yeah, take it away. Oh yeah, take it away.